Okay, hi guys. The link to the trailer is below. I've just watched the second trailer to Star Wars The Force Awakens. Okay, so we saw Han Solo and Chewie again. Yay! Han Solo and Chewie. Um, Also, there was Luke Skywalker talking about how the Force is strong in his family, and then saying, "You have that power too," to this unknown person he's talking to. And this got me thinking, is he talking to uh, another potential Jedi? Or the fact that he was talking about family, was he talking to his child, perhaps? Does he have a child who is similarly Force sensitive and able to train as a Jedi? We don't really know what the state is of the galaxy or anything in this film. Certainly, the Empire seems to have a dwindling but existent presence, because we've seen all these stormtroopers and we see this fantastic view on a desert planet of this crashed Star Destroyer. I mean, I looked at that and I thought, wow, a crashed Star Destroyer? What? But, yeah, and I think there were TIE fighters. I might need to rewatch it. But there seems to be a lot of remnants of the Empire, which is surprising because I would have assumed that the Empire would have faded out of existence unless there's a new emperor. But even so, I thought that the idea of the end of Return of the Jedi was the Empire was coming to an end. So yeah, I'd love to see where they're going with this. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. It's really bugging me. You could probably tell. So yeah, the trailer looks very interesting. It didn't make me that excited though, and I don't know why. Because this film has a lot of good practical effects as well as CGI. It's doing the wonderful thing of intermixing, like Jurassic Park did, and The Lost World Jurassic Park did, and BBC's The Lost World did, and Walking with Dinosaurs did, and The Lord of the Rings did, and The Hobbit didn't for some weird reason. But it's doing that wonderful thing of not using too much of one or the other to the extent that it becomes obviously fake. I'm sorry, that's really annoying me. Oh, I'll just rinse my eye out once I finish this video. So, yeah, that looks amazing, but something about the trailer just didn't excite me. And I don't know what it was. I mean, it's not that it doesn't look like there's enough action, it does. It doesn't look like there's enough character development, it does. It's not that it didn't give me a little taste of something and I want to see more. It did. But I don't know. Perhaps it's that I've seen all these other trailers for some. So perhaps it's just that there are so many amazing looking films coming out that it's becoming underwhelming to see what should be a great trailer and what hopefully will be a freaking amazing movie. But I don't know. The trailer didn't sell it that well. I can't explain it, really. I looked at it, and the moment I just saw the Chewie, we're home scene, I just thought, fan service. That was the immediate word that popped into my mind, fan service. And I don't want it to, because I want to see these characters back. I want to. But at the same time, I don't want this film to focus on these characters if it's set this far ahead. If it was set only a few years later, and made only a few years later, I'd be more than happy to. But we're reaching a time with the next generation of heroes, and I want the trailer to focus more on those. I want the film to focus more on those, and I'm sure it will. But we're not seeing much of them. We're not seeing what on earth they're going to be doing. I mean, sure, sometimes leaving this kind of thing, plot detail-wise, a mystery is a good thing. Sometimes it's a very good thing. But I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. But the use of practical effects is always great in these films. Especially, I mean, have you seen the Roly droid thingy with the, what's it called? BB-8, I think? I might have got that wrong. That looks amazing. I mean, the amount of effort they went into making that prop, and how they did that with a gyroscopic body and a stationary head, how they did that, I would love to know. I'd love to know. I'd love to ask these people who designed that prop how they did it, because the workmanship, the skills they must have, it's just amazing. This whole thing. The use of the practical effects is good. And I'm glad J.J. Abrams is doing it, because I mean, if you look at his films, like he was pretty good at Star Trek remakes. I mean, there was too much lens flare. I hope he's toned that down a bit. I think quite a few people moaned at him about that, so I'm pretty sure he will have done. I think he's trying to base his sort of whole cinematography on the original trilogy, whilst also adding his own spin. But I mean, J.J. Abrams was brilliant in the film Super 8 when he made that. That was a superb film. Fantastically directed, the effects were brilliant, and I'm glad after seeing that the same guy who directed that is directing this. I think he was, after seeing Super 8, I think he was a superb choice for Star Wars. Super 8, I'd heavily advise you watching that, especially if you like the Goonies as a kid. It kind of appeals to that kind of audience, but it's got an alien in it. But it's a really good film, Super 8. I really advise it. That was well off topic. So, one thing I'm not much of a fan of is that the villain in this film kind of looks like a Sith Lord. And if they destroyed the expanded universe, which I'm still very, very unhappy about, if they destroyed the expanded universe, then I thought, or at least separated it into this new Legends universe, then I thought that what they were going to do with the new films was continue with the idea that the Sith as a culture have been destroyed. I mean, Anakin in the prequel trilogy was prophesied to destroy the Sith and bring balance to the Force. Now, if the Force has now been brought back into balance, if it's only a temporary balance for like a few years, is it worth prophesying? He was prophesied to destroy them, i.e. there is nothing left. There should be no Sith after this at all in the universe of Star Wars. That should be the end of their existence, and we should see a new threat which does not affect the balance of the Force, but does affect the balance of structure in the galaxy in some way, and affect the lives of many people. I.e., in my opinion, what we should have is a threat that is neither the dark side of the Force nor the light side of the Force, as neither side should become too powerful or significant, thus turning the Force out of balance. What we should have, in my opinion, just my opinion, is a villain who does not have any midichlorians in him or her, in them, or an entire army of villains, i.e. from outside the Star Wars galaxy, that are invading the New Republic or the Empire or whatever, because these people would not affect the balance of the Force. They would not, you wouldn't be able to stop them by sort of force stopping them, like we saw quite a bit of in the prequel trilogy, with sort of picking up things, throwing things. If there's no midichlorians, then they theoretically can't be affected by the Force. So that's what I would do. I would have this new race of evil beings with some sort of evil plan as the threat that are Force neutral, or even not evil beings. You could have, say, for example, someone who is not a Sith. Another idea that I might have done, as if I'd written the screenplay for this film, is have your villain be someone who was within the Rebel Alliance, who is not a Force-sensitive individual, who feels that the balance of power has gone wrong, that the people who are rebuilding the Galactic Republic are becoming too powerful, that they're not doing what's right, and who form a separatist movement, perhaps from that. and you get two factions, neither of whom are good nor bad, well, both fighting each other because both have different ideas about what the common good for the galaxy should be. And that would, again, it would give you a lot of action, it would give you a lot of characters, it would give you a lot of character development in theory, and it would continue the idea the Sith have been destroyed, the Force is kind of in balance, but also it still needs Jedi, and the Jedi would need to pick a side and work out how to negotiate this, and there could be some amazing battles. You could have them seeing the right side, the sides of the others parties, and you could have Jedi on Jedi action. That's what I would have done, but you could have it so that there is meaningful resolution, whilst also amazing space battles. But that's completely unrelated to the trailer and just an opinion of me. As I said, the trailer didn't leave me feeling that much. And I'm sorry about that, because I know this trailer made so many people so excited. And all it did to me was make me think about what could have been. But I'm still very glad that it's got so many practical effects in it. I'm very glad that Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher are returning. I want to see where it's going. I do. I really do. I just didn't think the trailer was as good as it could have been. But I still want to see the film. I just don't feel as excited about it as I do about Jurassic World. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. So, there is a subscribe button just down below. If you want to look at that. If you want to give me your thoughts on the Star Wars trailer or the Star Wars Episode 7 movie in general when it comes out, I'll certainly be talking about it. Sorry. Dear. I'll certainly be talking about it when it comes out, and I will see you then.